Hi everyone, my name is Asher Altman and I serve as Student Hospital Connections Clinical Opportunities Committee. In this video, we're going to be discussing how to get involved in volunteering at Georgia Tech and why to get involved as an undergraduate student. We will be covering the importance of volunteering, how to look for volunteer opportunities, some application and interview tips, as well as the role of a volunteer, and then discussing Maria's personal experience of volunteering. First, let's discuss why volunteering is important. Volunteering gives back to your community in a concrete way. It allows you to broaden your perspective on the world through meeting new people and to improve your social skills. Through purposeful volunteering, you can help make the world a better place and improve life for others. Next, we're going to outline some types. For pre-health students, we can break volunteering up into medical versus non-medical volunteering. Both of these are very important for post-grad schools, such as medical school, nursing schools, PA schools. Medical volunteering is extremely important because it gives you exposure to the environment and people that you may work with in the future. It gives you the opportunity to learn about various medical professions, to develop skills on how to interact with patients, and to learn about the realities of the medical field, apart from what might be shown on TV or social media. Not only is it important to learn the ins and the outs of the clinical environment, but it also gives you an immense opportunity to network with doctors or other medical professionals, and to obtain shadowing or other great experiences. Non-medical volunteering is extremely important as well. By devoting yourself to volunteering outside of the hospital setting, you demonstrate that you want to truly better your community instead of just trying to get clinical experience. Non-medical volunteering tends to be more broad, but often allows for closer involvement into the projects at hand. It comes with tangible and rewarding outcomes, like house building or meal packing. Remember, you must have both for many postgrad schools in the healthcare field. Having hundreds of hours of medical volunteering may not be helpful if you've not demonstrated that you want more than just clinical experience. The best way to find volunteering opportunities is to first identify what you are looking for in one. Are you looking for a continuous opportunity that meets every week, a one-time volunteering event where you help a cause, or something in between? The next step is to identify the format of the volunteering event. Deciding between an in-person event like delivery or a volunteering event like online tutoring can be challenging, so it's often best to consider the aims of the organization you are volunteering for. Reach out to organizations that support good causes, or find available opportunities by looking at compiled resources like our COVID-19 Opportunities Notion page. The SHC Notion page also comes with tags to help you sort through various types of opportunities quickly and efficiently. With COVID-19, clinical volunteering has been especially hard to find, but remember that all volunteering is good volunteering. There's also not been a greater need for volunteering in recent history, so be proactive in trying to find opportunities. If you're not finding anything on your own, you can demonstrate initiative and leadership by organizing your own volunteering opportunities. SHC has greatly encouraged volunteering initiatives from our members, so feel free to reach out to the executive board if you have a volunteering event you'd like to plan, and we'd be more than happy to help. Some volunteering positions, including hospital volunteering, will require an application. These applications are typically straightforward, but some will require references from previous extracurriculars or work, as well as supplemental essays. Following the review of your application, you may be asked to interview for your volunteering position. While this may seem intimidating, cause anxiety, there is nothing to fear. These interviews are essential to the process, and it is important to establish yourself as a good volunteering candidate during the interview process. There are several characteristics that make someone a good volunteering candidate. While most of these are soft skills, like being flexible, trustworthy, or hardworking, it can be rewarding to discuss these skills from the context of previous extracurricular experiences during a volunteering interview or application. It's often beneficial to contextualize how you have these soft skills by describing an event where you demonstrated them. A useful tactic to describe these situations is called STAR, in which you first outline the situation, then describe your task, explain what actions you took, and then state the results you achieved. Describing your skills from the perspective of this model can be very helpful in establishing yourself as a good volunteer during the interviewing process. Student Hospital Connections, being an application-based organization, has special relationships with our partner hospitals to give our members special volunteering opportunities. This being said, you'll still have to go through the application and interview process. We cannot do anything if you do not demonstrate competence and professionalism to the hospitals in your application and interview, and do not get accepted as a volunteer. So make sure you put significant time and effort into your application to demonstrate that you'll show similar dedication when volunteering. After acceptance, there will be a number of other requirements you will have to submit before actually beginning volunteering. Orientation and additional training, behavior, and HIPAA requirements are standard, as well as vaccines and a TB skin test. Some hospitals will require medical release waivers from a physician, so it's important that you keep organized and aware of the requirements while you apply, so you can get these things done and submitted. The Student Hospital Connections website outlines the requirements, so it's a good idea to look at it before you apply so that you know what to expect. When volunteering, it is important to conduct yourself with a professional attitude. Dressing appropriately for the position and avoiding strong language is a must, and holding yourself accountable to your role is vital to succeeding as a volunteer. You are representing not just yourself, but also your school, peers, and Student Hospital Connections, so behaving responsibly and showing up on time is a requirement in volunteering. We maintain our relationships with our partner hospitals by sending only the best volunteers, those that show competence, compassion, and initiative when volunteering. In the clinical setting especially, it is critical that you maintain the code of conduct as outlined by the hospital. Failure to adhere to these rules could result in immediate and permanent dismissal from your volunteer role, as breaching the rules can put information, materials, or even lives at stake. It is important to note that the longer you volunteer, the more involved your bosses will allow you to be. By demonstrating commitment and professionalism, you will build trust. In the medical setting, doctors and nurses may become more comfortable with you assuming greater roles like bringing patients back and taking their vitals, as opposed to doing clerical tasks and cleaning rooms. In other settings, you may be able to assume leadership roles in coordinating volunteering for others or heading up your own projects. Additionally, it shows dedication in post-grad schools, and you will have a greater opportunity to get really good recommendation letters. Volunteering is an incredibly rewarding experience, and Maria, an SHC member, will now describe their experiences with volunteering over their time at Tech.
Hi everyone, today we're interviewing Maria Kosovska, who is the Secretary of Public Policy Manager here at Tech. Today, she's going to talk about her experiences of volunteering. To start off, can you talk about the application process?
Sure. So I'm Maria, and I volunteered by side throughout high school, and I had about 150 hours there overall, but volunteered in 4 different departments in 4 summers and 2 school years. And the application process started off with everyone submitting a general application, and then from there, based on your profiles, everyone got picked to do interviews. People that moved on, obviously. But the interview was intimidating just because it was my first volunteering opportunity, and I didn't really know what they were looking for because it didn't really describe on the website before that. But after the interview, I went in and I met the woman that was in charge of the auxiliary program, and it ended up going really well, and she just started asking me about, just for me to tell her about myself and how I am in my life outside of academics and extracurriculars, really just looking to get to know what kind of person I am. And yeah.
Would you mind sharing your favorite opportunity or your favorite volunteering experience has been?
I think my favorite experience has been, honestly, it was probably my first day, because when I look back at it and I think of when someone's asking me advice where, what they should do to volunteer, how they should present themselves, and then I just think back to my first day and how lost I was and how it seemed so big, but after spending, even just 1 summer there, I felt so much more confident in walking around the hospital and things that I could do and couldn't do as a volunteer, and talking to my staff and my superiors, and kind of just getting a gauge of what questions I'm allowed to ask them and what's too far, and taking advantage of the fact that they are there and they have all this advice to give you. So I think my first day, because I remember just walking around not knowing, parts of the hospital, and I look back and think that when people ask me and have no idea, then that's how they feel. So I try to take it from their perspective. So.
Gotcha. And if you could go back in time, what would be one thing that you wish you knew?
I think the one thing would definitely be to not get scared or intimidated and just take your opportunities for granted. So, for example, if you know that you're working around a lot of people who have the same career choice or are in the same field that you would be in, you shouldn't feel intimidated just because you're a volunteer and you're young or you're new or something like that. You should always just try to give advice and kind of figure out what made them decide to be that profession. How's it like for any other aspect of their life? Just because they are there, and more than when you think, I guess, when 99% of the time they're going to want to give you advice and share it more than you asked. So I wish that I did that more as it started out, but I think in the long run I learned how to do that better.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for your time today, Maria.
Thank you.
Of course, this concludes the SHC How to Get Involved volunteering series. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for watching the Student Hospital Connections How to Get Involved volunteering video. Make sure you watch the other videos in this series to get an understanding of some of the pre-health extracurriculars you should get involved in. If you have any suggestions for additional videos or other comments for this video in particular, please leave a comment. Also check out our Instagram page and our website linked in the description. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us anytime at shcgodtech@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.